Hey everyone, my name is Cameron. I am a speech language pathologist. I am here with another helpful tips and tricks for ClinicSource. Today's video is going to talk about what a text box is and what a text area is. Both of these things are tools that we can use in ClinicSource. Both serve different functions. So we're going to go over when to use which one, what they can be used for, as well as what the differences are between them. So let's get started. We're going to go to Setup and Templates. For this video, it's going to be a mix of me creating a new component to show you these pieces, as well as I'll go into my report or care plan after to kind of show you what this looks like in like tables and things. So, new component. You're going to find these pieces right here, a text box and a text area. So, a text box, just think of their names to try to remember what they do. So, a text box is literally going to be a box. This box cannot be changed. The size is what it is. You cannot stretch it. You can't make it longer. It only provides you this amount of space. You can type all you want in it, even past what it shows up. You see that? But you do not want to do that. Text boxes, which is what this is, really are going to be used for 1 or 2 words only. Reason being is that when you go back to edit your reports or kind of check what you wrote, it is going to be a real pain if you have to kind of highlight to move over to see what you wrote. So really stick to the amount of space provided. Don't go past that, or else you're going to have to kind of highlight and scroll over to see what you wrote. You can write sentences and paragraphs in here if you really wanted to, but trust me, it's much easier that you use the next piece, which is a text area, to do that. So a text area, you can already see it's bigger, and you see these 2 dashed lines at the bottom right hand corner. This will kind of this always reminds me that this is a text that I'm working with, a text area, because sometimes I'll shrink these down. See how they kind of look the same now, but the 2 lines kind of tells me, okay, I'm going to click here, and this is how I can drag to fit whatever I need. These boxes are used for those longer narratives that you are writing. So if you're in a diagnostic impression section, you're writing your summary sections, maybe you're talking about the results of your diagnostic testing that you did, you are not going to want to write sentences and paragraphs in these little text boxes. You're going to use this because you can stretch them to fit the text you want. So as you're typing in them, you'll be able to see everything you've typed, and you're not going to have to highlight and scroll through to check for any edits you need to make. I'm going to show you kind of in my eval what that looks like. One important thing that I do want to go over regarding these text areas is that, so you can make these really small, and you can make them really thin. Now, your letters are not going to show up, because they're going to get cut off if you make it this small. You see how this bar right here is now gray? That tells you that this is too small, that your letters are taller than the box that you've made. So I'm going to drag it down. You'll notice that it stretches more, and then it eventually goes away to white. This is where your letters are going to show up good, is when it kind of just becomes white, because sometimes you're going to want to make a narrative box that's really thin like this, but just longer, so that way you can see everything. But you can see how that gray space, you want to go stretch it just past that where it becomes white. Then you know that you provide enough space to show your entire letter. If I did this, then your report is going to have letters that are cut off halfway through. It's not going to look good. So again, make sure that you are in the white somewhere. If you're making a big box, then it's not going to matter. But sometimes you are going to want to make some smaller boxes to type in. Now you can embed both of these in the tables and everything else. Just that's what I've done. I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to open let's go to my care plan. So this is my care plan. So you can see that here is some like text box right here. I actually have to make that a little bigger right there. So I'm going to stretch it out. It must have just been glitched a little bit. So I'm going to save that. But again, you want to make sure you can see white here. If you see gray, that means it's a little too small. Again, here's a text box, so if there's another like therapy I wanted, that's only going to be like 1 or 2 words. Like if it was ABA, therapist, or something like that, then I could just type that in there. I don't need a whole text area for that. But you can see, like, here's the text box. It's just for a smaller choice if I wanted to. But again, here's another example of like how I wanted a longer kind of text box, but I needed to use a text area because it's stretched all the way across. Here's a good example. So I have 2 text areas right here because I wanted to see my whole goal that I pasted here, as well as kind of the progress being made towards it. And then here's some drop downs, kind of if the goal is met or not. Here's a good example of that embedded phrasing, by the way. So, for instance, I'll just put like, this is where the child's name goes, and then this is like for rehabilitation potential. I'll change his to her. I'll change it in order to help frustration, in order to reduce communication breakdowns. I'll add, like, if there's like some speech sounds, I'll do therapy will target this. So kind of that's some of that embedded phrasing, and we're gonna make a video about that too, because it does help make things go quicker. But if we go into my eval templates, you'll see for things like dosage, the amount, like if it was 55 milliliters, which would be a lot, or times per day. I'm okay with just using a regular old text box, but for some of these longer things, I need to have a text area. So I'm going to change all those later. Now I'm noticing them, but you do want to have it just go slightly past. So here's these text areas again. Here they are. These longer narrative boxes. Again, you can make them the size that you want, and all of your text will be displayed as you type. But that's really the difference between the two for when you kind of use them. If you have any questions about that, you can post them below, and I'll be happy to answer them. If you have any other questions, or there's some videos that you would like me to make because you're struggling with something with ClinicSource, or something doesn't seem to be working right, please comment below or send me a message, and I will be happy to answer that or make a video if enough people have a question about it. But thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to be notified when new videos are posted, and feel free to leave a like. That would be great. All right.